Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, December 4th, 2021. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, and all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already living by the many search for truth rules already given to the search for truth community by wiser minds above all of us. And we have not in really a long time crossed paths with souls who are actually living by those rules, which is a signal that this planet dimension combo pack has fallen pretty deep into what seems to actually literally be an actual literal black hole of corruption, which could explain the cosmology theories of expanding universes.
Oh, that's true.
If you just consider, well, what might it look like if we were looking at it from inside a black hole? It might look like an expanding universe, indeed. So, whether or not cosmologists are agreeing with that, it certainly looks, feels, acts, smells like a black hole. And here we have this soul plan, as do more than 1 million others. We're part of an experiment of 1 million mimicking soul plans given to others also. So we all have this soul plan to create worlds that work in all dimensions and for all categories of sentience, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. And that's the kicker. No matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, there's no out. And you can either accomplish the goal or die trying to accomplish the goal. And those are the only two ways to get your check mark as pass, not fail.
That's right.
When we shuffle off this mortal coil, as is inevitable, when we transition to less dense dimensions, that evaluation will eventually occur. All of us, for all of us.
Right.
Our society's bizarre disconnect with mortality has not served our society well.
No, that's true.
It's led to crazy outcomes that are detrimental to both the individuals involved and the collective.
That's true.
And the planet. And during this era of overpopulation and what might be a time disconnect interdimensionally between this dimension and the dimension where actual higher powers of integrity and higher vibration are actually present, during this time disconnect, what is it that would be helpful? We've really been trying to figure this out. How can we be helpful? How can we help the situation? And what keeps coming up is that right now we're in kind of like a stonewalling period where those who are in positions of authority, they know they're doing selfish, corrupt things and lazy things and convenient things. And convenient things, not inconvenient things. They're not doing inconvenient things. No. They're doing convenient things. And they don't want to change. They just want to continue. And they want to just take positions and pretend that lying about doing the job is the same as doing the job. And it isn't. And so now what? How can we help? And we remember what someone taught us is that we can always turn our focus to the smaller dimensions and help those who are stuck in even deeper, denser dimensions, help them get up and out to the extent that they want to.
That's true.
Those who are wishing to go up to divinity, God by any name, that we can aid them in that quest. And we can give them passage through us, not to us, through us, and that is something we can do. And we're not here to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. Even if we could, we wouldn't want to. No. And so we don't try, and that's not our job.
No.
But we can offer safe passage and kind of provide a little bit of uplift for anybody who does want to go up to higher powers, divinity. And one thing we could suggest to them is that just let everybody know how difficult it is to actually live a good life. They're talking about a person who we know about who has just recently been released from prison.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he found, which is no surprise to us and possibly a surprise to him, we don't know, how many people he met in prison who are still labeling themselves as good people.
That's right.
Even though, like, obviously they've done some bad things that landed them in prison. And how ingrained it is in us, all of us, to want to consider that we are still good people even though the things we're doing might be problematic.
That's true.
And this talk about that's not the real me, that the real me is something else. Our actions and inactions show who and what we really are. And the things we do behind the mask make it look worse for us in the inevitable reveal. So to try to just be honest and stop lying. Just be honest about how bad things are. Maybe that would be our advice to these small presences. Go up and tell them how difficult it is.
That's true.
It's like, it's really tough. Even people who, they're good people, quote unquote, they're still doing bad things.
That's right.
Now what? Now what?
Do you hear anything?
No, but they're stonewalling us.
Yeah, right.
That's okay. We know there have been people who have lived and have set good examples.
That's what they're talking about.
Those historical facts do exist, and it's popular these days to create confusion about that and tell lies and slander people who are good people and uplift presences who were really acting selfishly and with corrupt intent.
That's right.
And it's just fashionable to take positions and fight each other, showing that this species is really no better than any other species, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That all the training invested in this species, unfortunately, hasn't improved us fundamentally.
No.
They're talking about that photojournalism article in the AP Wire, the Associated Press Wire, a couple days ago, where there were just a whole string of horrific photos from around the world. And it was clearly an obvious message, but it wasn't as clear what the meaning of the message was.
Oh, that's true. One of our guesses of the meaning of the message was that everything is falling apart and going bad right now, and so if you're going to do anything whatsoever good and helpful to make the situation better, this is the time to do it. Right now.
Right now. Now.
That was one of the guesses.
It is, and the other guess is, one of the other guesses is because of the way the photos were interspersed with scenes around the globe of horrific events, and the photos were all real and the horrific events were happening, is that it's not like any countries are better than any other countries. Like, we're all bad. Like, there's horrific photos coming out of the U.S.,
That's right.
and horrific photos coming out of Ethiopia, and it's all the same. that we want to pretend that, oh, we're so much better, but we aren't.
That's right.
Not fundamentally. We're not actually civilized. We still allow violence.
And there was something that was in the news at some point in the last few weeks that I'm probably going to butcher, where in some country that we think of as being really advanced, it might have been somewhere in Scandinavia, there was an event where humans were slaughtering dolphins, including pregnant mothers.
Faroe Islands.
Thank you.
Slaughtered 1,400 dolphins.
Thank you.
It's a traditional hunt where they drive the dolphins into a bay and up onto the beach and kill them.
That's what they're talking about.
The dolphins are intelligent species. Pregnant mothers, calves, they're just slaughtering, killing to kill. And it's a wealthy country. They don't need to do that for survival.
No.
They're just doing it because they like to kill.
That's right.
And that's not civilized behavior, and not to single them out.
No.
Just pointing out that the U.S. is no better than Ethiopia. Norway, I think, is the owner of the Faroe Islands.
Thank you. I think that's right.
And they're no better than other places where we allow the slaughter of other species as if they don't count, as if they have no rights. And this is not humanity's planet. This is God's planet. God by any name, God however you relate to divinity, is divinity's planet. It is not humanity's planet.
No.
And we're supposed to stop. That higher voices have been screaming for easily 20 years, tempting to say 30. You don't have as much time as you think you have. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And we're not stopping as a collective. Humanity is not.
No, that's true.
We're all complicit. All of us in the wealthy countries.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely are complicit. And something like 80% of the humans on planet Earth live below $10 a day. Their income is below $10 a day. Something like 80%.
Yeah.
And so if you're viewing this, presumably your income is more than $10 a day, or you wouldn't have access to it.
That's right.
We're all complicit. And now how to make better choices. Even here right now at the end. And that's in biological time, so the end doesn't mean this day, this week, but it means take action this day, this week, and also next day, next week, and also next month and next year. Because we're all going to die. We're all mortal.
That's true.
And denying mortality is a real fundamental disconnect with reality. But even Buddhism, that does so well with acknowledging things like mortality, Buddhism is not proving to play out with less bullying, bizarrely and in a heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
Southeastern Asia, where Buddhism is a predominant religion, still has an awful lot of violence, terrible violence, carried out by presumably practicing Buddhists.
That's right.
Just like the violence carried out by presumably practicing Christians.
That's right.
And the violence carried out by presumably practicing Hindus.
That's
the violence
right.
carried out by presumably practicing Muslims.
That's right.
All the religions have failed, which is so sad. And the governments have failed also. The organizing structures of religion and government are obviously failing, or we would not be continuing on the path of destruction, which we are.
That's true.
What now? We really want, somebody just stepped
I
up to
hear
the
you.
microphone. We will really want to emphasize that everybody was born with a soul plan, with a soul contract, and when we die, as is inevitable, that's what we are asked about. Just that. Is this your signature? It's always right.
Yeah.
It's always the correct document. Is this your signature? What did you do on your sacred vows to Spirit? And they don't want to hear about anything else. And if you keep yapping about other things, after a while, they will put you in like timeout, like solitary confinement, to think about it a little bit and see if you're ready to actually answer the question that you're being asked and stop yapping about other things. And that's all we're asked about, is what did we do on the things that we were sent into a life to do. We've all got those plans, all of us. And that's all we're going to be asked about. And so it's so strange that we seem to, as a collective, spend our energy trying to avoid that rather than trying to do it. For whom is the message? Why do you ask? They're talking about the starving squirrels that we observe, and it's acorn season. There's absolutely no reason for these squirrels to be so thin.
That's right.
What our best guess is that just like humans are losing the collective memory of how to raise food, that the squirrels are also, and not just squirrels, many species are also losing the collective memory, the age-old wisdom of the species, and that these are just young squirrels, and too many generations in a row have died off too quickly, and the wisdom is not being transmitted intergenerationally.
Thank you.
And to the point that even during acorn season, they're thin and hungry.
That's right.
And there's acorns just lying around in piles. But they don't know that it's safe to eat them, maybe.
Right.
It's a breakdown.
That's it.
Everything is breaking down. What now?